We are going to take a look at lesson 7. And again, I'm going to start at bubble 4 because number 1 is just your lesson overview. Number 2 is just something for you to kind of play with to like do a little bit of exploration. 3 is the video. So let's start with bubble number 4, shall we? All right. So it says again, and I cannot stress this enough, you guys need to start reading your instructions because oftentimes the instructions have all the information you need. All right. So for bubble 4, it says creating sprites. Var sprite equals create sprite, creates a new sprite and assigns it to a variable. This default name is sprite, so you'll want to change it to something more meaningful. Drawing sprites. Sprites only appear on screen when you draw them. Calling the draw sprites will draw your created sprites on the screen. All right, then it says do this. This program includes comments and lets you know where to place the code that is otherwise blank. Your program should look like the image on the right. So that's what it should look like. And obviously that's not what it looks like right now because if I hit run, literally nothing happens. Like it's just blank. Add var sprite equals create sprite 200 under the comment creating sprites. So again, in your toolbox, you have the world tools and you have the sprite tools. Var sprite, create sprite under the creating sprite line. Okay, I just did that. You can ignore the yellow triangle warning for now. It is just telling you that you haven't used your sprite yet. So anytime you see a yellow, that's kind of like in our HTML, how you had pink code. Yellow triangles tells me there's a problem or an issue with the code. Add draw sprites under the comment drawing. I'm going to go back to my world toolbox. Draw sprite goes under drawing. Run the code to draw your first sprite on the screen. Okay, so reset and run. And there it is. That's exactly what it wanted you to do. Again, now sprites are automatically drawn from their center, which means that the center of the square, not the top left corner like we're used to, is at 200. And again, I can see that if I turn on my grid, the center of this square is at 200. All right, so that is the first bubble, number 4. If I'm taking a look at bubble number 5, it says the program should create 2 sprites, one on the left of the screen and one on the right, but it's only drawing one. You don't need to add any code. You just need to rearrange the code already present to make sure that both the sprites show up on the picture. So again, if I run this, I'm only getting one sprite. Again, it's telling me I do not need to add any code. I need to rearrange my code. So remember, drawing sprites tells you to draw anything that is above draw sprites. The problem here is that the one on the right is not being drawn. If I drop the draw sprites to the end of my program, so it says var left, var right, and then it says to draw the sprites, reset run, there you go. Again, that draw sprites is the command that says, okay, everything that I told you to do, draw it. So if I put my draw sprites at the very beginning, anything above the draw sprite, there's nothing above the draw sprites. The draw sprites can only draw what is above it. So as a general rule, not an always rule, but as a general rule, your draw sprites really should be always the last thing that appears on your code as a general rule. All right, so we're going to finish this one, and we're going to take a look at bubble number 6. And again, this is just reviewing from yesterday because, like I said, I was having issues with my office hours yesterday. So, adding animations. This program draws 4 sprites to the screen, and one of them has an animation from the animation tab. So there is an animation tab up here. We have the code tab, and we have an animation tag, right? So we have a bunny here, we have a flybot, a plane in red, and an alien. I'm going to go back to my code tab. Look at the code to see what happens, okay? Then it says look at the animation tab to see which animations are available to you. Feel free to alter your animations to choose a new one. Use set animation command to change the look of your other sprites. Okay, so run. Right now, I just have an alien coming up. I want to change the look of my other sprites. So how do I do that? Let me make a little more work on my workspace. So my alien is the bottom right sprite. And I'm saying set it to this alien animation. I can use that same idea to fix my other sprites. And all I'm going to do first is I'm going to drag all 3 of them in because I know I have a total of 4 sprites that are being created. Now I have top left sprite. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here, I'm going to copy, and I'm going to paste that name to set animation. And maybe I want this top left sprite, maybe I want that one to be a bunny, okay? This number 7, the line number 7 of my code, I am going to turn that into the bottom left sprite. Again, I'm just going to copy and I'm going to paste that here. By the way, this is a lesson in naming things. Never name things that you don't want to type, but this was the computer's program, not mine. So I've used the alien, I've used the bunny. Maybe I want to make this my little flybot, okay? And then my last line of code, I've had the bottom right sprite, the bottom left sprite has been identified. The top left sprite has been identified. So it looks like I have to do the top right sprite. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that from here so I don't have to retype it because I hate having to retype things. If I can get it to copy. There we go. I'm going to replace the word sprite because that is just a generic placeholder. And I've used alien, I've used bunny, I've used flybot. So now I'm going to use plain red 1. Reset and run. And that's what ends up happening. So now, again, I've created sprites and I've assigned those sprites to an animation. And again, those animations were found on my animation tab. And we'll be doing more work with the animation tab, hopefully today. All right, so that takes us through bubble 6.